And what's up?
Holy shit, there's a lot of you. Welcome all for you hopping into the stream. Welcome. We've had a little movement on the channel over the last week, covering a lot. We got some research to do, and I figured if I was gonna record a video today, I might as well do it live.
Fucking we'll do it live.
Oh. Apparently there's some rumor that maybe this swatting thing is a bit overblown. I've got proof that he's talked about it, that it hasn't been an issue in the past, and quite a bit more. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna take through it. Also, if you guys have any information talking about the swatting, talking about like anything coming to light over the last day, please hop in that Discord. We have a drama channel, we have a news links channel. Get me in touch with it, and I will happily shout you out if you'd like to. But we're just trying to make, you know, best understanding of what's going on as it continues. Ew, what the hell? There we go. Pirate software was recently swatted this last Tuesday here, or so he says, which we're going to be taking a look at. I made a video about it yesterday. Highly recommend you check it out. People were not the happiest with. I was giving him credit to just, you know, talk about swatting, and just being honest about it and saying, hey, you know, swatting's not good. So I want to do some research, see what's going on. I'm not trying to downplay the severity of a SWAT situation, but with how Pirate has apparently been talking about it, it seems like this is a much smaller deal than he made it out to be. We're gonna take a look at that. Just give me a few more moments here. Thank you for letting me get ready here. Okay. Let's switch gears here. All right. Hello. There we go. What's up? My hair's messy. I'm sorry if my voice, by the way, is a bit shot. I have a part-time job on the weekends where I am a tour guide of sorts. So I just had to talk for like 3 hours, and that's why I'm showered, because I was sweating balls. So the main thing, and I just want to thank you guys. A lot of the people that are here have been watching the recent videos. It's been a crazy jump. We just hit 50K. That's fantastic. But let's get into why we're here, why you guys clicked on this. So I've had the privilege of a lot of you really cool people that I've been doing some research. You've been making this easier, because I've had people hopping in the Discord, which is what I've linked in the pinned comment, who have been providing me some extra information. And so I wanted to go ahead and see, I want to comb through that. I'm kind of doing the research live with you guys to make an assessment. Because at the end of the day, if there are some legitimate issues with what's been happening, like with the swatting, with how people have been talking to Pirate, things like that, I want to make sure that we're addressing that as so, because a lot of people have a right to be upset with what's going on with Pirate, as we've covered in the recent videos. But I want to make sure that we're not falling into the just hating to hate, and that we actually have evidence for stuff and we can call him out on his bullshit. So with that, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull some stuff up that I was linked to see. a lot of this surrounds him talking about some of these issues with this this narrative with the swatting. He's said a few things over the course of his tenure as a YouTuber, and I want to take a look at some of that stuff and see if we can, because there's a big difference between if we have concrete evidence versus we can paint a picture with some of the surrounding information, right? So let's move over to that. Also, I just appreciate that a lot of you that have shown up just kind of appreciate, let's just look at it balanced, be honest about it. And if it's so yeah, this is like 50% of the normal volume. It's because I do fix it at the end, so I apologize. Does this make it louder? Let me see if I can advance. Let me see if I can up the decibel count here for the sure. Let's try doing 5. Okay. Does that change the volume at all? It might be locked at a certain amount of volume, so I apologize. Do you have a script? You're able to articulate your thoughts well. If you don't, wow, I'm impressed. I do not script, so I'll probably be recording the video for today in this live stream. It's just I get the information that I need. I think of an intro, which has gotten a lot easier as of recent, and then I cover what I've been seeing. So that's essentially everything I do. That's what I've been doing every day for the videos. I think the scripting kind of gets in the way of just being honest about what I'm feeling about. Because like even yesterday, a lot of people think I missed the mark with giving Pirate benefit of the doubt when it comes to swatting. I think just swatting as a whole, not good. So yeah, if it's a swatter, of course, because that's you're crossing a line that you shouldn't be. But what actually happened? Because he made it sound like horrifying, right? The way that he talked about it. So I want to check that out first. So let's jump into the first thing that I've been getting shared a lot. Oh, there we go. Sorry, that's super fucking loud. Is this clip here? Let me get this pulled up. I'll move you guys over here. On this day, and then we can also talk. I might even end up interviewing our game dev guy. I haven't even asked him about this. Jack Vania, fantastic dude. Check out the interview if you haven't. But Pirate was giving him shit in his Discord, and actually we have a screenshot from that, which I'll show you guys. But he was talking shit about him and completely misrepresenting the entire interview, which is mind blowing that he did it again. But I don't want to make a video that's just because I'm personally butthurt because he's going after the game dev that I chatted with. But we'll get into that. So let's move over here. So this is the short that I've been referenced to a lot, talking about in the past how he set himself up to avoid swatting.
I have to think about a lot of stuff, right? I have to think about mail. I have to think about being secure in that stuff. I have to think about what happens if somebody tries to swat me. I have to think about all these kind of things. And I take precautions for every single one of those, right? Because these types of things happen when you're a streamer. It's not good. It's not legal, but there are idiots out there. Always there's idiots out there. So one of the things that I do for my mail is I make sure that I have a P.O. box and I open all my mail at the USPS. Easy. Simple. We do some scans on that stuff and we move on with it. If somebody tries to swat me, I've contacted the local police, let them know who I am, let them know the address that I'm at, and that this could be a thing that someone will try and do in the future. So they put a little tag on the account for my address. So they know that this could be a thing for me. And if it ever did occur, I'm in a room that's well lit and my hands are visible. Easy, right? Easy stuff. As a streamer,
Okay. So that's interesting. That was low for you guys. Hold on. Let me. I'm sure you guys are able to hear it. I'll keep the volume up for you now. Sorry about that.
I have to think about a lot of stuff, right? I have to think about mail.
Oh,
I
here.
have to think about being secure in that stuff. I have to think about what happens if somebody tries to swat me.
Were you guys able to hear it? I'll play it again if you weren't. I'm not trying to farm him right now. Okay, fixed. Okay.
Think about all these kind of things. And
Let me just jump to, so he's talking about swatting.
So one of the things that I do for my mail is I make sure that I have a P.O. box and I open all my mail at the USPS. Easy. Simple. We do some scans on that stuff and we move on with it. If somebody tries to swat me, I've contacted the local police, let them know who I am, let them know the address that I'm at, and that this could be a thing that someone will try and do in the future. So they put a little tag on the account for my address. So they know that this could be a thing for me. And if it ever did occur, I'm in a room that's well lit and my hands are visible. Easy, right? Easy.
Okay. So I've been seeing this one a lot. Now, fun fact, I had actually seen this when I was kind of like, I really started YouTube and doing like content drama stuff last year, like at the end of July. And I went crazy with like the Mr. Beast stuff. But I watched Pirate Software, and I think you guys probably saw the clip that I had included in my video of me talking about when he first joined Off Brand and how stoked I was because I loved Pirate Software. I loved his content. He inspired me to work on my stuff. Matter of fact, I've contacted my local police department and I left something in when I was first blowing up because I was neurotic. I was freaking out because I moved Like it was literally 5K views a video to I hit like 1.3 million in that same week. So it was this insane jump and I was freaking out. So I literally had used the advice that he had left in this and I contacted my local police, got a note put in, all that stuff. So here, and a lot of people might have an issue. This is the thing that's kind of weird about me. Why did I private those videos? I privated all those or unlisted them because I was worried that I had leaked some of my personal info in any of them because I was never being that careful about it. And I got super anxious. But this is what I want to focus on with this, okay?
Future, so they put a little tag on the account for my address, so they know that this could be a thing for me. And if it ever did occur, so at this point, Pirate Software, he's always talking confidently. We know that. He will confidently lie. Check out my last video. He confidently lied straight to Ross's face about not deleting VODs. And I genuinely think he just forgot about it. But to confidently lie about that and then bully Ross in his Discord is just shit behavior. But in this specific context, he's being super confident and he mentions if it ever did occur. So we could assume based on what he's saying, and I know, but based off what he's saying that this hasn't happened to him before. So it makes sense that he's going to sound confident about it. Like I'm in a well-lit room, my hands are up, but that is a completely different scenario than it actually happening. Like, and I'm not saying this happened because there isn't proof of this happening because he was live and then he went down. But there's no proof of like, cops entering his room, slamming down the door and him putting his hands up. That's a totally different experience. Like you're not going to behave the same way as, or he's not going to behave the same way as he is talking about the preventative measures that he's done. So I see a lot of people like, oh, look at how confident, like there's no way that it was a serious thing. They could have missed the note. They could have not been paying attention to it. We don't know, right? So we need to make sure. We need to be like particular about it. I've only said that he's lied about stuff when there's proof that he has been incorrect about something and said it confidently. So in this case, he's saying, hasn't happened before, but apparently there's more. How can we even make sure? And that's the other issue. We can't. Pirate doesn't have to. From what I understand, there might be public records. Some people, there's a comment on my most recent video of someone saying, hey, I've contacted his local police department. Apparently what they're saying is that if they reach out and they ask for this public record, they'll be able to attain body cam footage from the event, et cetera, if it did happen. I don't know for sure. I'm not a cop. I don't work in law, but my issue with that is that does pose a risk for Thor. Because if that information is publicly available, you might be able to get more information about where he lives, and that could be detrimental to him. Like that could ruin his privacy. So I'm not sure exactly how that works out. I'm excited to see, I'm interested to see if anything comes of that. But like realistically, we don't know for sure if that's going to actually result in actually getting that proof. But so this was the first thing that was brought to my attention, but there's a bit more. So here, let me take a look here. Is this the same thing? As a stream.
Yeah, it's the same thing here. Okay. Wait 1 minute. See this? Hold on.
Dude, I grew up on 4chan. Like, you're not going to say anything that's going to make me upset. It's not going to work.
Okay, so this is a clip from Chud Logic. Holy shit. Okay, so let me see here. Bragging about not doing that. Also, again, like join the Discord if you have anything. Go ahead, send it in the drama news links, and I'll be taking a look at it on this stream. If we go to this, let me see here. And so we do have proof, like we do know for sure that it's happened. Matter of fact, this is the first time apparently that it's happened over the last year. Let me show you guys some of the pictures here. So what I've got right here in front of me. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait, we just got intel. Nick Andros, thank you very much. History of claiming time to come again. He's not bothered by this. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, let's take a look at this. So, Nick Andrews, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. He just sent me 4 examples of Pirate apparently talking about swatting and how he's not worried about it at all, which is very different. And we should go over the clip of how he talked about getting swatted. This is my biggest issue. When we're talking about like the mass review bomb, the way that he paints it and the way that he talks about it being a mass review bomb, you guys know that. Like when you hear mass review bomb, tell me in chat, what do you expect? Something like Helldivers, where there were tens of thousands of negative reviews hitting. What did it mean? As he said in his stream, something like 4 to 10. It was like 410 negative reviews. That's not a mass review bomb. Overwatch 2, another great example. That is not a mass review bomb, what they went through. So maybe he can say that. Maybe he can twist definition and be like, that's a mass review bomb, or include what he was talking about with the, like on social medias. But he knows what he's doing. Like, you can't not know what you're doing when you're talking about a mass review bomb and suddenly you mean you're extrapolating to every form of social media for the brand. I mean, maybe there was more, but that's like, you're getting into the realm of, well, we can't disprove it without going through like insane bullshit research to prove and like go through every single comment. Does that make sense? But let's dive into these. Let me pull these up. Thank you so much, Nick Andrews. Shout out to you, man.
Right.
I'm going to pull these up and then I'll check audios with you guys. Let me just get them all ready here. Okay.
It's funny.
No thanks. I don't think I'll join. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with these. It doesn't matter what other things are true or false. It's proven beyond reasonable doubt is what Pirate is a strong doubling down liar. We literally can't trust barely anything he says. That's why I prefer to just call him out when he does double down and lie. I don't like to get into the, theorizing unless I can justify it with a good chunk of logic. That's my biggest issue. So let's start here. And let me get the audio good for you guys. So this is the first clip that I was sent. So these, like I said, and let me just reiterate that, these are coming from, essentially, Pirate is using the swatting, doxing, death threats. I'm just reading what Nick sent to me here, as a way to paint himself as a victim. He has a history of claiming time and time again he's not bothered by this and is well prepared for it. So let's see. So this is the first one here.
Apparently you got doxed, I heard. Just making sure you're aware. Yeah, it's funny because like some people doxed me, and then other people found all the fake docs that I put out there.
Hold on. I don't want to take away his mojo here. Hold on. Here. We'll do the really cool thing here. Yeah, now we're double reacting. This is epic. Okay.
Apparently you got doxed, I heard. Just making sure you're aware. Yeah, it's funny because like some people doxed me, and then other people found all the fake docs that I put out there, where they think like my mom and dad are still together, and they think that I'm still married, and some of them think that I live in like a different location. There's like a whole bunch of, some people think my name is Jacob. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to put out docs on myself that are slightly wrong. I've been doing that for years to just kind of poison the well. And there's still people that are like picking that shit up and they think it's real. So every once in a while, somebody's like, hey, gotcha, Jacob. And I'm like, I know where you got that. That's funny.
Okay, so, I mean, glad he's confident. Unfortunately, that didn't work out too well for him in the long run, apparently. Okay, so, I mean, sure. I mean, I think the most that we've found out from here is he's confident about his fake doxes, and also he got divorced and his parents got divorced. That's a bummer. Okay, well, good for him. Look at that. 4D chess. Yeah, he's dodging laser beams here, dodging the doxes by lying about it. Okay. So he's confident about it, and you can very clearly see he's very calm. Admittedly, again, this is not him showing how he'd react to getting swatted, but I think that's kind of, we're entering the same realm. He's acting super nonchalant about it, which I would also say that's probably a dumb idea. Like, it's probably dumb to poke the hornet's nest and be like, yeah, people have tried to dox me. It just doesn't work. They can't find the real stuff because I'm just faking it. I'm 2 steps ahead. I don't think I'd ever say some dumb shit like that because I'm not trying to irritate or like ego check somebody who is fully capable of finding where I live. It's not worth it. I don't want to do that. I'm not playing that game. If you don't act smart, are you really smart though? That's a good point. Great point. My bad. So did he just admit to lying? I don't think so. Cannot believe he took it that far. So now let's go ahead and check this next clip here. Let's see here.
The way that I always feel about it, I'm going to be real with you. I got doxxed 12 times last month. It happens. Yeah, but the swatters, yeah, here's how I handle that. And I actually put out a short about this to think about this stuff, right? If you have these types of situations, if you're worried about swatting, the best thing that I've done is I contacted my local police and I say, hey, I'm a streamer. People know my location. It happens.
Thank God he's doing this for all the for all the deaf people that are watching his streams so they can understand and follow along.
Right? People can dox me. It's cool. This happens, right? And I want to let you know that if somebody tries to swat me, that this may be the case. And they go, cool, and they add that to a tag on a file for my address, right? And now this doesn't mean they won't send a SWAT team, but it does mean that that SWAT team will get informed that this may be a false alarm. And if it does happen, I have a room where I'm well lit, got my hands up so people can see what's going on.
Hands up, well
and
lit.
I'm in the farthest location of the house from the front door, which makes it easier for me to find out what's going on, shut down the stream, handle everything appropriately, and put myself into a place that's well lit and visible. That's all you can do.
Okay, so he's super confident. I also think maybe that's important. He's saying that if he's in that situation, the reason that we wouldn't have a stream of it, no fucking way. Dude, Tom, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the $20. Okay, so if we're taking a look at this is actually kind of giving a bit of defense as to why we don't have a VOD of him getting swatted. I mean, just what he said here.
From the front door, which makes it easier for me to find out what's going on, shut down the stream, handle everything appropriately, and put myself into a place that's well lit and visible.
Okay, so we do kind of, so he's giving himself a reason as to why he's not doing that. You guys don't know. We had a beautiful time at 3 a.m. at a Denny's. Tom and I shared a very magical moment. So if anything right now, that is kind of supporting why he wouldn't have had it actually streamed, why, none of that would have happened. That is kind of giving him a bit of probable deniability when it comes to it not being recorded. And this was a year ago. So this wasn't, I doubt that he prepped this far out. You kissed me and I held back. I have proof that that's not the case. And I'll show stream right fucking now. You want them to see the forehead kiss picture? You want that? I'll give it to him. You think I'm capping? All right. Here, I'll send it to you on Discord, Tom. There it is. I can't believe you'd forget our night. That hurts me, man. I choose now to live as a gay man. Sorry for derailing, but have a good stream. Thank you so much, Tom. All right, we'll do a live, champs. Hold on here. The math ain't mathing. Hold on, one sec. Let me pull this out. I am a bit distracted because I think it'll be funny. Let me go to. There we go. I should have just had this on standby. I can't believe I didn't. There it is. Okay. All right, you all ready? Behold. Feast your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. I met a lot of really cool people at I met a lot of cool people at VidCon. We shared a night. It was beautiful. Great jawline, just crisp. God. Ow. I think I just got a cut from my mouse. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, this is the pirate drama you came for. What's up, bro? But no, I got to meet a lot of cool people. But okay, so back to it. So the second clip we're talking about, we're going through it, right? Forced, yeah. What we're seeing here, Pirates just kind of talked about why it wouldn't have shown up. This isn't, proving that what happened at the SWAT was something like people breaking down the door or anything like that. But we do have, this clip to go off of. So let's move on to the next one here. This is our third one. Let me get this back over to you guys. Yo, Soggy! No fucking way. Why are you all showing up right now? Soggy, thanks for hopping in too. Thank you for the donation. I'm more of a cheapskate than Tom. That's okay, man. Get your money up. We also shared a beautiful night. I wish we had a similar picture. I think I have one in the Discord that I posted in the announcements. We broke bread. No more animosity. But let's go back to this. So this is the third clip here.
The dangerous thing. Death threats happen all the time. I think I get maybe like 3 of those a week on average. Whatever. Right? I grew up on 4chan when I was younger. I grew up on Something Awful forums, YTMD, Newgrounds. All
right, this one's good.
4chan when I was younger. I grew up on Something Awful forums, YTMD, Newgrounds. Whoa. Not dead yet, right? It's just I don't really have to give a lot of shits about that, frankly. Yeah, I just don't care. So, I don't know. You learn to not really give a shit unless there's a credible threat. Over time, you learn it only matters if it's credible. If there's a credible threat, then you go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do something about that. If it's not a credible threat, then it's whatever, right? It doesn't really freaking matter. And like people on the internet are idiots, so they say that kind of shit all the time. So you kind of just learn to not really give a shit about most of it, and when you have to give a shit about it, you know how to handle it. That's talk to the local police, right? 3 times a week is crazy. I mean, you have to think about it this way, right? Here's a really good example.
3 times a week? How about 10,000 a day? How about that? We're besties now, just here to enjoy. Okay, so
and this is
going in the video. Shout out to Gandros.
Not a credible threat, then it's whatever.
Okay, so this is kind of dumb as fuck. Thank you for the dono, Victig. Holy shit, I appreciate it, man. So this is bad. All right. So he is set up, and like again, what I talked about in my previous video, he has set this up. Matter of fact, let's just pull up the fucking clips. I'm not just going to talk out of my ass, so I'm going to show you why this is really frustrating and him misrepresenting what's going on. That's annoying as fuck. I genuinely, it's just, the reason I'm like drawn in to be making the videos that I am right now is because like every single day, something is coming out that is just completely going against what he was arguing and the shit that he was acting like, this is the worst thing ever. Like I could have been killed and I'm getting thousands of death threats every day, but now you're going to act like it means nothing. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull up my video and we're going to jump to the clip because I linked it. Okay.
All right. I'm really glad that Bindu Sprint, the reason why I was against the SKG.
Shelf, thank you so much for the 10,000. Jesus, Husky, welcome to the stream. I like owning things I buy. Real shit. Real shit. Okay, let's jump over to this. Let's figure out what's going on. All right.
The initiative is because I had a...
Also, again, shout out to my boy. This is a dude that joined our Discord and was able to clip this for me the day that it came out.
Commanding stake or was making a lot of money off of Rivals of Either, which is a to review bomb the game.
We have the full
Okay,
they directly call out me. Do awesome shit. That's how they tried to kill me on Tuesday. So
okay.
I think the most interesting thing that came out of it is so many different developers actually win, and now they know that they can like cyberbully.
Bro, what the fuck? Thank you for the $50. Thank you so much, Awesome. I appreciate it. I haven't streamed in like months, dude. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I really want to do this and like cover this video for you, but like, I thank you. Thank you so much. Holy shit. I forgot I can like these. Thank you guys so much. Victig, Shelf, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Wait, is that Husky? Thank you. Thank you for the $2. I'll remember our night in Vale. Okay. Thank you so much. All right.
People into
review bomb. So not a review bomb. And if it's a review bomb, it was a smoke bomb.
Losing their jobs and shit. And I was like, they already could do that. Like that's how they tried to kill me on Tuesday. So yeah.
So he says it as they tried to kill him. That's a crazy intro. That's like me baiting with an intro of my videos.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I know you have, like, this big grandstanding narrative that you have to fit to, and oh, shit, now they know that they have blood in the water. They swatted me on Tuesday. I don't give a shit what you think. I'm out, dude. Enjoy your initiative. Have fun. I hope the government listens to you, and that they give you what you want instead of what you actually asked for, which probably isn't going to happen.
Okay, so I didn't even cover this in my video. I don't even know how I'm going to structure this for the one that I'm putting out today because I'm doing this. I never even covered this, and this is really frustrating because admittedly, I was just kind of focused on this dude got swatted, not okay. My issue is that he is assuming that it's due to the Stop Killing Games initiative. This is something that really pisses me off because I do too. Everybody does this because it's easy. There's a conflation that he's making right now between the Stop Killing Games initiative and it being someone from that. And he talks about it. Matter of fact, let me just see, because he tries to like defend it a little.
Yeah, not interested. Don't give a shit. So anybody who brings it up, we just ban him in chat, dude. I don't care. Yeah, no shit. Already. No shit happened on Tuesday. Don't give a you actually listens to you. Dude, enjoy your... Not interested. Don't give a shit. In the middle of the stream, your time has covered. It's awful as shit, dude. This is a thing that occurs. Welcome to the internet. Hinged. And I realize that's not everybody that's fuck about your initiative
right here.
Because your people are unhinged. And I realize that's not everybody that's part of that, but I don't give a shit, dude. Like, I'm out. Have fun. Good luck.
Okay, so he is conflating the Stop Killing Games initiative with, it's got to be someone from the Stop Killing Games initiative that sent the swatting. He's completely missing the point that the reason that people are frustrated is not because he's against the initiative. It doesn't fucking matter if he's against the initiative. What matters is that he is against his idea of what the initiative is about, his idea of how it's going to turn into anything else down the road. He's like, that's what everyone's mad about. There's a reason that Moist Critical made a video giving him shit for the conversation that they had. Number one, he didn't even fire first. Pirate is the one that put out a tweet first, and then Charlie ended up following up with his video. It's not about the movement. It's not about those people. Holy shit, thank you so much, Trixie Trickster. It's not about any of those things. It's about his behavior. It's about how he has been overly confident, has been rude to multiple people and shit on them for telling the truth, for being right. He has so confidently been wrong every single step of the way. And it's getting incredibly frustrating. And again, no matter how frustrated you get about someone being a jackass online, that does not justify getting swatted. But now he's conflating that with the Stop Killing Games initiative. And all that's doing is just making sure that the people that are watching him every day, that are big supporters of him, are going to turn this into a us versus them thing. And suddenly it's, we're battling against the evil and we're helping Pirate Software because now he's getting targeted by the vicious Stop Killing Games initiative. And he hides behind the plausible deniability of, oh, well, you know what? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm thinking that he's getting, behind this, I'm hiding behind this plausible deniability of, if I say this, if I say I know it's not everybody, then I can get away with making this conflation and mixing these two things up. My behavior and being really insufferable with the Stop Killing Games initiative because I've been insufferable in an endeavor to shit on it. I hate that. It's really, really fucking annoying. Did he actually say second puberty? Yeah, he did. He did. Same dude who's... Thank you so much for the $10, Manny Smith. Holy shit. He claimed it was a second puberty. Now he's claiming he was being a villain to boost the initiative. Do you have proof that he was saying that he was being a villain to boost the initiative? Please send that to me. Everyone was calling that. That'll be a video in and of itself. Brother, thank you so much for the donate. I hope you're happy and doing well. I was amongst the early subscribers and I'm confident you'll reach 1 mil. Greetings from Egypt. Thank you so much. Fucking A. Thank you guys for showing up. I'm sorry. This is the largest stream I've had. I'm kind of tweaking a bit. But this is the frustrating thing. And I didn't address it in my original video because I wanted to focus on, hey, swatting, not okay. You should not be doing it. And that's like no matter what. And I did not want to conflate. I didn't want to make my video and come off that I'm just hating him because a lot of people hate him. I want to make sure that I'm being like objective. And I'm going to, even if it happens time and time again, like even if he's lying about the severity of the swatting, oh, well, I'm going to make a second video giving him shit for misrepresenting it if that's the case. We don't know for sure. We're going to do some more research, but that's the issue, right? So when it gets into things like this, I don't want to take that approach firsthand. I want to assess it first, get the other information, and then call that out. And I know that that's not always going to be the prettiest, right? So this is a great example of him doing that. He conflates the two. He talks about it dying, and then he does talk about the death threats, which is why we were here in the first place.
A couple of people in chat were like, why did Cronus leave so suddenly? That was one of the reasons. The stream that gets thrown off by that, sure they get cut. It's not just like one instance of that causes the problem. It
means state felony. It's also whatever, like law enforcement. They know what's up. When he calls in and tries to say that there's a crime taking, yeah.
Talks about swatting.
I haven't talked about it publicly till today.
All terms, attempts and stuff. I don't think he's...
Yeah, don't lie to me about that shit.
Okay.
Right, yes, say not to public, not to harass all people are saying that,
all the shit that I've been dealing with.
Okay. Yo, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Holy shit. Thank you very much, Dan.
I'm also going to be honest with you.
Okay,
like,
this is the other part. So this is him talking about the death threats and stuff. And this is, this point I never even addressed either. This is what Kronos is saying. I think that's Kronos.
Pull this up. Yeah, put it up on our Discord. All the shit that I've been dealing with.
I'm also going to be honest with you. Like, if people are saying in chat, a statement came out yesterday not to public, not to harass all. Why was that not part of the half-an-hour long video?
Yeah, the hour-long video with 33 minutes of it trying to say that I was a piece of shit. Yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, I did cover part of this. I did cover part of it. So this really irritated me, and it's specifically that introduction. Like, why didn't they say don't harass Pirate at the beginning of this? Because it has nothing to do with like the harassment of the harassment that Pirate Software is receiving is not because he disagrees with the initiative. It's because he disagrees because he perceives the initiative as something that it's not. And like, I am going to say this so many times, you could play a drinking game and actually drink yourself to death for every time that you're going to hear someone say he's misrepresenting the initiative. They can't do anything about that. They could like, hey, please don't harass Pirate if he disagrees about the fundamentals of the initiative. But what, hey, don't harass Pirate if he's making dog shit opinions about a completely fumbled, like holy airball misunderstanding of what the initiative is about. If you make a shit opinion about something that doesn't even exist, why are they going to tell people not to? Like you should, that's called criticism. My video yesterday, I got a shit ton of criticism because I was just assuming that Pirate was being honest about the swatting. And I probably fucked up. Like there is probably more to it. He has a pattern of behavior. That's called criticism. I'm not going to turn around and go, "Ooh, I got harassed because people fucking disagree with me." And I'm not going to turn it into, "Oh, look at all these fucking Pirate Software haters, you know, hopping into my comments being like, he's a piece of shit. Why do you believe him?" What's the I didn't do research on it. I just went off vibe alone. And like, I missed some stuff as you're seeing me cover in this video right now. Like, yeah, I missed the mark. That's life. My friends are going to call me out on dumb shit. Unfortunately for you, you have a huge following and you were revered. Like you saw my video, my old video. Why did I say that it was a good idea to have Pirate Software as the strategic coordinator of Off-Brand? Because I said, because it's the Pirate Software. I didn't even give a reason. This guy was revered as like a game developer saint for the community because everyone liked him. He had good things to say. He was inspiring people. If you go from that to fumbling on an opinion, and not only that, it truly is not only that. If you just disagreed and left it at that, that's fine. But the fact that you have, we can't even count it at this point. There isn't a word for it. Quintuple, sextuple down on your incorrect perception of the initiative. That is criticism. It turns into harassment. People start, commenting and they're not even saying anything that's useful. They're just giving him shit to give him shit. Yeah, that's harassment. Like that, plain and simple. If you're just hopping in his chat and going, kill yourself. Yeah, that's just harassment. But the vast majority, and I guarantee it, the vast majority of everything that he's received is called criticism. But when you get this much, suddenly it feels like harassment, especially to someone who isn't going to step away, who is going to die on the hill that he's dying on. So yeah, that's irritating. And then I think he follows it up with, let me see.
Yeah, so on Tuesday I got swatted. I've gotten constant calls to my cell phone. I've had tens of thousands of death threats a day, including
tens of thousands of death threats a day. I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to be logical. I can reach out to him. I doubt he will respond to me at this point, given the last week. I'd just like to see a screenshot of a day. 10,000 is holy shit. I mean, maybe I'll get it. Tens of thousands. I'm so sorry. I would love to see just a screenshot of that. I'll gladly show you guys. And if he's showing me proof of tens of thousands, I would love to see that. I will back him for that, like gladly. I'll reach out. I'll ask him. But that was also a number that I thought that's pretty insane. We're kind of inflating stuff a bit, maybe. I don't know. We can't confirm that. We don't have his phone. We can't see it. What was it?
I got swatted. I've gotten constant calls to my cell phone. I've had tens of thousands of death threats a day, including
tens of thousands. So that would be across everything. It wouldn't just be phone text. I don't know why I just conflated that, but I'd love to see some screen caps and get some numbers. Thank you so much for the donation, Elflame. So we have this,
including to the moderators and the rest of the team. People called the county trying to say that our rescue is an animal horde, so we had to deal with that. I've been called a pedophile, a zoophile, a rapist, a corporate plant, a degenerate, a narcissist, a nepo baby, and many other names. They attacked.
The narcissist and nepo baby are viciously different than everything you said leading into that. I think some of that is coming from drama from like he's a furry, and like I made a video talking about not even the stuff that has been like recent, but it just sounds like the dude's a fucking weirdo. It's his sex life. It's whatever. I don't give a shit about that stuff. If people want to harass him for it, like they're going to, it's whatever. You're on the internet. He should expect that, especially given the clips that we just saw. It's to come with it. And now suddenly those previous clips making a bit more sense. Let's jump back to that clip that we had just watched, because maybe I'm actually forgetting.
Right, it doesn't... Forums, YTMD, Newgrounds. It's just like, I don't really have to give a lot of shits about that, frankly. I just don't care. So, like, I don't know. You learn to not really give a shit unless there's a credible threat. Over time, you...
Okay. So if you don't give a shit unless it's a credible threat, well, that leads me to believe that you should be able to ascertain that if you're receiving tens of thousands of death threats, similar to like if you're receiving tens of thousands of emails a day, that the emails are probably not useful, that the emails are probably all just spam. Tens of thousands, I'd be shocked if any of those were significant at that point. Clearly, that's not the point. You won't get screen cap. You're just getting caps from him. What does that mean? It's probably bots. You had no idea. He was like this in 2017, hasn't changed one bit since that. Back in 2017-18, he was treated like some kind of messiah in his Discord. Absolutely disgusting. Thank you for the donation. Maybe I saw about that. I mean, I was one of those people. I think a lot of people on the internet were like that. There were some people that were just irritated with how he behaved. Like, just thought he was cringe as fuck. I was getting inspired by him, so I wasn't in that boat. You'd have to read them to know their content. He has been more wrathful, bro. Nothing's still wrathful. Okay. So I'm probably gonna have to just re-record after stream, but because I don't want my video to be all over the place. I want it to actually make sense. Okay. So tens of thousands of death, what is it called? Of death threats a day. He's talking about that they tried to kill him. So, okay, we've got that going. We see here, Thor's related to, okay, apparently there's a video that came out that I might need to take a look at here. Developer examines pirate software. Okay. So we have that. There's one more. We need one more clip to go through. That was the third one. So let's see the last one here. I follow what you're saying. Can't write out the bullet points in Paint, please. Oh, should I get up a black Microsoft Paint and just start doodling? Yeah, the second coming. Yeah. Okay, let's see this one.
It's deeply funny, dude. Of all the things you could say, you say that, hoping that I'm somehow going to be upset. Son, I grew up on 4chan when I was a kid. I grew up on Something Awful forums. I grew up on Newgrounds and YTMND. You ain't got shit. You think I haven't seen some heckling on the internet in my time? Boy, I was trolling people on the internet before you were born. Your dad is afraid of me. That's how that shit goes.
He's having a boomer moment right now.
Outrageous. Outrageous. Try to troll in my chat. Gives you nothing.
I feel like this is more cringy in hindsight. Okay, let's be realistic about this though. Him getting like joked at or like shit talked by a dude in his stream at this time is fucking nothing in comparison to the shit that is getting flung at him now. I'm not defending him, but like let's be real. Right? Like if I don't know if it's necessarily indicative. He's acting like he would. He's being uber confident like he always is. But this is fucking small peanuts compared to what he has, like every single stream that he's hopped on. I'd love to see the numbers, the metrics for the amount of people that have been banned from his shit in the last week. Yeah, this is, I mean, small change compared to what he's getting, like all the shit that's getting thrown at him right now in every single stream, every fucking minute of all of his streams. Check Discord. Do we have more info? He's lost 100K subs in a week. I didn't know he was dropping subs. Hold on. Let me pull up this Discord stuff. Oh, everyone's like, okay, we definitely need to take a look at that video. The proof he wanted. Software claims to be the villain. No fucking way. Okay, I'm just looking at an article, but what? Okay, hold on. Number one, we're opening this on Opera. I'm not fucking, there are 7 ads on my... Okay, apparently there's proof. Okay. There's no way the ads are still showing up, dude. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. We did our best, but the okay, this is a okay. Let's see. So this is from India. Is that the Times of India? Right. Well, starting off strong. Pirate Software claims being made the villain boosted petition's momentum as Stop Killing Games hits 1 million signatures. Well, okay, maybe they're just framing this. This might be a nothing burger. The Stop Killing Games petition has now surged past 1 million signatures, but there's an unexpected twist. It's not just about the milestone. Jason Thor Hall, popularly known as Pirate Software, the vocal critic of this moment, I think maybe movement, claims that social media backlash against him painted him as an antagonist, but truly, that turbocharged the momentum of the SKG movement. Such a counterintuitive argument added a dramatic layer to the fight to preserve access to the purchased games. The most interesting, Pirate Software is directly countered. So does he? We already covered this tweet. He bluntly, my videos do not seem to have had an impact on the movement. We talked about this. You can't actually make any discernible use. You can't take any actual discernible information out of the graph that he showed. Others even acknowledged you're not a villain. Okay, so this is just a reframing of what we already know. Skepticism did kick in. Just stop killing games. Okay, so they're just taking screenshots. Dude, this is just internet versus core aspect. Okay, so no, this is a nothing burger. I'm sorry, guys. No, so this is just them saying in different words. Pirate himself is not saying, I did it for you all. I saved you. He's just saying, yeah, you guys needed a villain for your stuff, so you're welcome. Well, dude, maybe that is. Maybe I'm just thinking too shallow about that. Is he really doing that? I need to read the tweet again. Hold on. I don't think that's the case. Let me check his replies first. I'm just seeing if he's done anything recent. Nope. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's read through this shit again, because I don't think that he did. Maybe I'm just being too kind about it. Holy shit, thank you so much for the donation, Turbo. What is that? Turbo Diarrhea. Thank you so much. You're making me the villain has doomed your cause. He grew up on 4chan. Meanwhile, he's striking channels, threatening to sue indie devs, and banning to oblivion. Seems like he's handling it well. Yeah, super well. Okay. The most interesting narrative is that my video somehow killed the initiative. This graph shows that the initiative already had a downward trend in interest. I covered this in my video. It's a crock of shit. Videos do not seem to have had any impact on the movement at all. Actually, what I covered is just showing that this doesn't really mean anything, and I just showed how I could make something out of it too, and made it seem like Pirate Software actually did cause a downward trend. Making me the villain did, though. Best of luck with your next steps. Is that enough to be like, yeah, he's saying that you're welcome? Like, making me the villain is like, you're welcome. Like, is he taking credit for the initiative? Dude, maybe he is. Fucking A. I don't know. There's something about it that's like, I don't know. I don't want to just like commit to like, oh yeah, that's what's happening right now. What do you guys think? I don't know. It's a backhanded you're welcome to me. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. In my head, I'm imagining what we're talking about right now is him going like, yeah, you know, without me being a colossal douchebag, like without all of this, you know, your fucking initiative never would have happened. Mana Gem was on cooldown. Okay, it's sarcasm. Yeah, it feels more like sarcasm. I don't want to make something out of nothing with that. Peanut butter and cornbread with some iced tea. Base. Thank you, Shaquille O'Neal White. Exactly that. He dismissed the impact that the larger streamers had. Yeah, he's just completely ignoring it. But I mean, he's trying to defend himself. Like, he's backed into a corner. That's kind of expected behavior. Let me see what else you guys have sent in. Yeah, and considering way more important compared to some of the more popular Pirate Software drama. I'll take a look at that. Let me pull it up right now. Nope. Do not like that. That's a whole other can of worms. Hope you get what you wanted. Oh, I completely glazed over that. Hope you get what you asked for and nothing of what you wanted. Yeah. Okay. So people were sending me, including Soggy. This video came out. Let's take a look at this one.
All right. So I'm sure.
So first things first, let's shout out this guy. Dude, this guy's small, but apparently some good stuff has come from this. Let me go ahead and pop this over for you guys. This is, oh, I can actually move my camera again. This comes from, let me actually get his credit in here first. Then we'll flip. This comes from Slop News Network. Developer examines Pirate Software Part 1 job history and development hell. Let me just quick. He actually has 40 years worth of 6 months of experience. Okay. Found out about him when he got involved. Has anyone else seen this? Okay. This code is so bad. Legendary channel name. Yeah. Give me a run for my money.
Many of you have heard of Jason Thor Hall, better known online as Pirate Software, due to all the surrounding drama related to Stop Killing Games. This video isn't about the Stop Killing Games drama. I do support the Stop Killing Games initiative, and anyone in the EU currently watching this should go and sign if they care about game preservation. This video is going to be
real shit. If any of you are from the EU for some reason, you haven't signed and you're being a little silly goose, if one of my mods, if you're here, if you could throw in the chat, or just anybody there, throw in the stopkillinggames.com. Go there, sign the petition.
A review of Jason's job history, game dev industry claims, coding ability, and his heartbound and champion of breakfast DRM solutions by me, a developer. I won't be touching on his hacking skills.
Well, careful, guys. We need to go after this guy's credentials. We need to make sure that he has more credentials than Pirate. Otherwise, we're going to see screenshots of Pirate shit-talking him in his Discord.
As much in this.
Oh, you guys weren't here for it. Pirate was shit-talking the game dev that I interviewed in one of the videos just a couple back in his Discord. Completely misrepresenting the majority of what we were talking about in the live stream
video, since from what I found, all of his DEF CON wins were team efforts, and all of the stories related to hacking are just that, stories. Outside of his word, I generally can't find anything related to it. There isn't anything concrete or of substance in these stories for me to actually analyze and review. If anyone knows where he actually has hacking write-ups, or knows the VODs where he actually does something related to hacking, let me know and I can do a separate video going through and reviewing it. Okay, with that out of the way, let's start with Jason's LinkedIn job history. So if we look at his LinkedIn, we can see his first recorded job experience is from 2002 to 2009, where he was a freelance security researcher and developer. In 2002, Jason would have been 15, and from what I found, he hasn't taken any program classes, so anything he knows at this point is largely self-taught. Another important thing is Jason actually had a job in 2004 that isn't listed here as a quality assurance intern at Blizzard.
I went to Blizzard in 2004, and this is kind of my whole career, right? My first job I got through nepotism, 100%. My dad worked at Blizzard.
Okay, so you're okay with being called a Nepo baby then? So maybe you shouldn't associate Nepo baby with the zoophile, pedophile, all those things. Maybe if you're willing to admit that you got it through nepotism, maybe that's a legitimate thing that people are calling you, and maybe you should just acknowledge that.
For 23 years? He worked at Blizzard for 23 years, so I got a job there in 2004. I was shit. I was shit at this, and I realized I was shit.
Also, I think it's important that we talk about his dad for a second. Jason says his dad just worked at Blizzard, but that's grossly understating his dad's role and history at Blizzard. Jason's dad is Joey Ray Hall, and from a Reddit AMA his dad held, we can see the following. Joey Ray joined Silicon and Synapses in 1991. Now, you might be asking what's Silicon and Synapses, and what does this have to do with Blizzard in his post? Well, in 1991, Blizzard didn't exist yet. Silicon and Synapses was the original company name, and 1991 was the year it was founded. Joey Ray joined Blizzard before it was Blizzard, and when he joined, there were less than 10 people in total at the company. He wasn't some random Blizzard employee. He was one of the earliest hires at the company. Over his 23 years, he did all sorts of work, and was the one that founded the cinematic team, led the machinima.
Okay, so his dad is that fucking guy. So his dad is that fucking guy.
Team, the video and post-production team.
Soggy, yeah, I wonder why people claim he got his job from nepotism. Maybe because he fucking said it.
And the esports live broadcast team, plus being responsible for all the video content for every BlizzCon between 2005 to 2014. Plus, he led the team that made the famous South Park World of Warcraft episode and the inspiration for the He Who Has No Life character. Joey Ray was the director of cinematics at Blizzard. He wasn't some low-level employee that worked at the company. He was pretty high up in the chain. Anyways, back to Jason.
The next 5 years, I left Blizzard. I did not reapply. And I went and worked on my own. I did freelance. I did freelance for everything. So I actually went into Second Life, which is a 3D Worlds game if you've never played it before.
Yeah, we know about Second Life. We're firmly aware, Mr. Meldavius.
Language in it called Linden Scripting Language. And I made games in there. I learned how to do 3D modeling. I learned how to do texture work.
Yes, I will be cutting down. I'll probably just re-record after this since I'm collecting all the thoughts from what we're researching here, and I'll put out a video this evening for you guys.
learned how to do scripting. I learned how to engage with people that were playing my games. I learned how to do network model stuff. I learned how to do server related stuff. I did this for 5 whole years.
So Jason's Second Life period of time is a huge rabbit hole, and there's like 5 or 6 different controversies surrounding his time in Second Life.
Yeah.
This video isn't about his controversies and allegations, so I'm going to skip over most of it. The only small parts we care about are related to coding. During his Second Life playing time, he played a character known as Moldavia's Fig.
I never saw pictures of this. I did research, but I never saw this.
And started a company called Dark Sphere Creations.
Dude, everyone's into their own things. It's whatever, do your shit. If you're comfortable being called a weirdo, dude, live your life, man. But
He claims he did game program with the Linden scripting language, the programming language of Second Life, and made some small games and some user-generated content for Second Life. While digging into this, I didn't find any proof he coded any games. What Dark Sphere Creations and his company was actually doing at the time was creating not safe for work adult furry avatars and selling them. Basically, his friend Wingless Emote, another Second
pretty much successful entrepreneur.
Life player, would do the art and modeling for the furry avatars, and Jason would do some coding on top. What kind of coding he did on top?
Oh, sorry, he didn't. He just did some of the avatar scripting. He didn't even make the models, right?
With these avatars isn't exactly clear. Then
Also, I think this is... I'm not sure. I'm not going to, don't take my word for this. From what I understand, when I had briefly looked into this, I think I maybe made a video. They weren't NSFW arts because Wingless Emotos was a child at this point. They were a minor. And I think that they themselves had come out and released images showcasing those models that she had been making at this time. And they were not sexually suggestive. So from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, people might have evidence. That doesn't sound like that. Whether a minor should have been making this avatar art in Second Life, sure, we can have that debate, but from what I understand, this might be a bit of a misrepresentation of what the actual case was there.
and they would sell the avatars, and eventually the business was making somewhere around $10,000 a month, primarily due to selling these avatars. There's some other controversy where it alludes to Jason trying to do dev work on Linden Labs projects and other game worlds, but I can't find any solid proof, just random posts and accusations. So in summary, there doesn't seem to be any proof he did any kind of game development or hacking during this period of time. Let's get back to Jason.
Then I came back to Blizzard in 2009 and I applied, not having his help in any way. I got the job.
Okay, the timeline here starts.
What?
In 2009 and I applied, not having his help in any way. I got the job.
Okay, the timeline here starts matching up with his LinkedIn. After his little detour with Dark Sphere Creations and working for himself, Jason now has an actual full-time job at Blizzard in 2009. This is his first official full-time job at Blizzard, and he is once again a quality assurance analyst. Jason claims he got into the company on his own merits this time, but I find that a bit hard to believe at face value. In 2004, he said he was terrible at his QA role, and that's why he quit. I searched to see if he studied anything IT related in high school or in college or during the time gap, and I found this from his subreddit. Jason did spent some time in college studying to be an entomologist with a specialization in ants. He dropped out of college without ever finishing his studies, and it doesn't seem like he ever took any IT related courses during this time here. During that 5-year gap between 2004 and 2009, the only experience he said in the clip from earlier was his Second Life programming.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. From what I understand, because I love video games. It was my dream if I could play video games for a living. I want to do streaming. It's changed a bit. I'd love to make a gaming channel, but that's irrelevant. The thing is with this QA analyst, from what I understand, you are playing the game and essentially doing bug checks. You are grinding the shit out of the game to find bugs and report them and do quality assurance. From what I understand, you don't really need a lot of school for that. Does schooling actually assist you in being able to do QA? So what is QA analysis or a QA analyst, if somebody knows? Because from what I understand, I don't think you need a whole lot of schooling to improve at that job. That just feels more like overtime experience. It can help, depends. Testing software. But if he was doing that, so if he's doing that for the games, would he be testing specific software in those games? You don't need any schooling for it. It helps, but not needed. QAs fill bug reports. You need understanding. I know Soggy has done a bit of dev work. Understanding his QA was based on coding and software of others. Different levels of it. You can go in with no experience. Okay, so it could be argued. So that's not a completely moot point. It could be argued that having that schooling is going to benefit him in this situation. Okay. Good understanding. Soggy's really, Soggy Serial didn't work at Blizzard for 7 years. So, okay, sorry. Most help it would give would probably be for bug fixing, texting, fixes in code. I was a QA lead at Ubisoft Studio before I went to uni for games programming. QA is basically hitting stuff till it breaks, then communicating that breaking. Jimzy7. If you could, I'll look for some more comments from you. So, okay. Jim7, go ahead and throw something else in. Okay, so let's just, for the sake of, continuing on with the video here. It is useful to have a college degree for this, admittedly. We understand how QA works, but this would be useful.
And well, that wasn't exactly quality assurance or hacking or game development work. Plus, while applying,
And yes, the stuff he did in between also would not have assisted him or developed his skills for doing QA.
in 2009, on his resume, he would probably have had, or Blizzard itself would have had a record he worked there previously as a QA. So that would make applying a second time for a similar position easier. His dad, once again, was a pretty high person in the company, and some people might remember Jason being Joey Ray's son from before. It's not impossible he got in on his own merits, just a bit hard to believe considering he doesn't have experience with any real program languages at this point, and he doesn't have any degrees or certificates. Okay, back to his LinkedIn and his job.
Also, and I'm not doing this just to shit on him. Let's just be real about it. If your dad is one of the OGs, one of the fucking guys at a company, and you're getting hired in, you're trying to get off of just merit, I don't know if you can completely separate it. You would have to have somebody that just does not know the people up top. And I struggle to believe that in a situation like that, that would not follow through the grapevine, that you would not feel pressure hiring somebody like this. Being real, I'm not trying to shit talk him. It doesn't make sense that he knows for 100% fact he got in on merit alone. And he's making a good effort in this video too, to showcase that there wasn't any growth that we could see or that we could, define based off of the stuff that he was doing in between when he first did it and when he got hired on a second time.
So he held the role for 3 years and 2 months, and once again, this was his quality assurance role. One thing Jason often does is he claims all QA are developers. First, as someone that has worked QA myself,
can we get this check, chat? Chat, can we double check this? Is QA development? Is slamming your head against a brick wall until it breaks and then submitting the report of you breaking the wall, is that development, chat? I guess if we Googled the definition. Someone who's been in the games industry for 20 years. That's true. 20 years. Oh, you know what's really funny? The guy that I interviewed, Jack Vania, immediately in the interview explains, hey, I'm not going to try to pad my stats here. I, made games for this amount of time. He was even very open because he said that he hit lightning in a bottle multiple times. He's not willing to go forward with the names of the games because he's ghosting. He's choosing to try to remain anonymous in terms of those games, the development behind him, all that. Even he was yeah, I mean, technically, I've been around it for 20 something years, but I've only had I can't even remember, but he gave a legitimate number and he was this is actual time spent working on shit. 20 years is tough.
This isn't true. I'm not saying QA aren't important.
Yes, QA is absolutely important, but the way he's describing it is not indicative of it.
But the majority of QA generally are non-technical and only a small portion.
Sorry, I can't help but notice. He had a Kickstarter for a plushie. Send that in my Discord if you have it. That might just be a fun video.
And most of the places I worked at, QA generally has no coding ability and are tasked with doing manual regression testing. Basically, they get a series of test cases they need to go through, and each test case has a written out set of instructions.
Hold on, sorry. Blackbird, thank you so much for the $10. Holy shit. Quinn, he for real made a YouTube short where he said you don't need to be a good programmer and shows Toby Fox as an example. Keep that in mind for later. Quinn and